Hello, everyone. Welcome to this video. Today's video will be a listening video. So, in this video, I will talk about why I left Canada and moved to Mexico. At the end of this video, I will go over any vocabulary that I think might be new for you. I'll give you the definition and some examples. So now let's get started. So when I was around 15 or 16, I remember writing down that when I'm older, I would like to live in another country. I remember writing down Brazil, Mexico, Uruguay, Thailand, and Turkey. Being that I was 15 or 16 at the time, it was a little difficult to live in another country. So now let's fast forward about 10 years, and now I am working as a nurse. At this point in time, I had been a nurse for about 1 year. And in my first year of nursing, I enjoyed it quite a bit. But after my first year, the job started to become very boring, very monotonous, and every day felt like the same. I felt like I was not doing much. I felt like I just gave pills, and this did not give me a sense of satisfaction nor fulfillment. I did not see myself being happy if I stayed in this profession, and I did not want to work in a hospital as I don't really like shift work. So I decided to talk to my cousin because he had a construction company at the time, and I asked him if he was hiring. He told me he was, so in October of 2021, I quit my nursing job for good and I started doing construction with my cousin. So now with my cousin, we were doing siding. If you don't know what that is, basically you put this material on the side of a house to cover the frame. So I'll post a video so you can see what I'm referring to. And as I said, this was in October. So, if you know anything about Canada, we have very cold winters, and around November, December, it starts to get pretty cold. So, working outside in the winter was not particularly enjoyable for me, and I realized that also I will not enjoy doing this for the rest of my life. Another factor about Canada, another thing about Canada is that it is very expensive. So I did not want to be stuck in a job I don't like, paying for a mortgage. So this was also something that was on my mind at the time, as I just did not see myself enjoying construction for the rest of my life. I don't like the winter. It's cold, miserable, gray, and I had always wanted to live where it is like summer every day. On top of that, as I had mentioned before, the cost of living is very expensive. So for these reasons, I really wanted to leave Canada. So now in February of 2022, I'm still doing construction and I got COVID. So I did not work for this week, and during this week, I remember the time when I was around 15 or 16 that I had written down that I want to live in other countries. So I figured, why not? I don't see myself being happy in Canada. And if I don't like living in another country, I can always come back. So during this week, I called my dad and I asked him, what do you think about moving to Mexico? And my dad was on the same page. So this week, well, that week, we came up with a plan to leave Canada. So we came up with the plan, and around April 14th, I drove from about Toronto to Vancouver Island, and on April 28th, we left, and I have not been back to Canada in 3 years. So I know this is a listening video, but I just want to say if you have an idea and you have always wanted to do something, just go for it. I'm very happy with the decision that I made. I'm very happy that I left Canada, and I hope that you learn English while listening to this video. And maybe if you're scared to try something, you just go for it and it works out. So now we will go over some vocabulary that might be new for you. So stay around for the second half of this video where we'll go over some new vocabulary. Hello, everybody. So now we will go over the vocabulary that I think might be new for you. So the first part, go over. Go over is a phrasal verb and it's transitive. So that means it has to have an object, which you'll see in just a minute. So the meaning to review, examine, or discuss something in detail. Let's go over your homework together. The manager went over the report before the meeting. So, just as I was saying, how the phrasal verb is transitive, it requires an object, okay? Let's go over your homework. Your homework, the object. The manager went over the report. The report is the object. So, now let's fast forward. So it's an idiomatic expression or a verb phrase, right? It means to move ahead quickly to a later point in time, often used when telling a story or imagining the future. Also, you can use this, for example, when you're watching Netflix and you want to fast forward, you want to skip ahead. It's another meaning of fast forward. So let's fast forward 10 years. Imagine where you could be. Let's fast forward to the moment I finally started my own business. Again, let's move quickly to a later point in time. Boring. It's an adjective, right? Not interesting or exciting. And pay attention. ING, okay? So if something is boring, it makes you feel bored, okay? So the class was boring, so several students fell asleep, right? The book is too boring to finish. Again, the ing adjective produces that feeling inside of you, okay? So the class was so boring, it made me feel bored. Monotonous, monotonous. So it's an adjective again, dull and repetitive, lacking variety or interest. Like everything is the same, okay? So his job was so monotonous that he lost motivation. She has a monotonous voice that never changes tone. So they talk like this, for example. Right. Satisfaction. So satisfaction is a noun, and every word you see with the tion suffix, okay, is a noun. So satisfaction is a pleasant feeling when something has been achieved or is as desired, right? So it's a feeling inside that makes you feel good. She felt deep satisfaction after completing the project. The customer left with a smile of satisfaction. So, again, think about how you feel after completing something difficult. Fulfillment. Fulfillment. Again, it's another noun, and it's a sense of happiness and purpose, especially from achieving your goals, okay? So it's like the opposite of feeling empty on the inside. Instead of feeling empty on the inside, you feel fulfilled. It's fulfillment. So he found fulfillment in helping others. Teaching gives her a sense of fulfillment. So you could also say, right? Teaching gives her a sense of happiness and purpose. I did not see myself being happy. So the meaning, it's hard to imagine being happy, okay? So I did not see myself being happy in a corporate job. I do not imagine myself being happy in a corporate job. Even with the high salary, I did not see myself being happy. So again, even with the high salary, I did not imagine myself being happy. Shift work. So it's the compound noun, right? It's when two words come together to create one word. So, and then the meaning, a type of work schedule where employees take turns working set periods, which are called shifts, often to provide 24-hour coverage. So shifts, for example, at the hospital, you have the day shift, 7 to 7, 12 hours, and you have the night shift, 7 to 7 during the night. So, examples, shift work can affect your sleep and overall health, especially when rotating between day and night shifts. He works 12-hour shift work, switching between day shifts one week and night shifts the next week. To hire. So, again, this is a verb and it means to give someone a job or to employ someone to do work. The company plans to hire 5 new employees this month. We're hiring a graphic designer with experience in social media. Particularly. Particularly. It's an adverb, and most adverbs end in ly. So, just as a refresher, an adverb describes an adjective or a verb, okay? So, the meaning, especially, more than usual, or more than others. It's used to single out something as important. I enjoy cooking, particularly Italian food. So, I want to highlight that I enjoy cooking Italian food. She was particularly impressed by his presentation skills. Mortgage, mortgage. So the T is silent, okay? And then a pronunciation tip. Whenever you have three consonants, okay, you have a consonant, you have the letter T, and you have the consonant. Almost always we drop the T, okay? So the T will be silent. Mortgage. And a mortgage is a long term loan used to buy property or a house. So you have to go to the bank to get a mortgage. They'll give you a loan in order to buy a house. So they got a mortgage to buy their first home. Paying the mortgage is their biggest monthly expense. The cost of living. It's a noun phrase and it means the amount of money needed to afford basic expenses in a location. So the cost of living is very high in big cities. So you need a lot of money to live in a big city. He moved to reduce his cost of living. On the same page. This is an idiom and it means to agree or understand something in the same way, right? So it's like you guys are in agreement about something. So we need to be on the same page before we present, right? We need to be in agreement before we present. I had a talk with my boss to make sure we were on the same page. I had a talk with my boss to make sure we were all in agreement. So just go for it. Think about Nike. Just do it. So it's an idiom, right? And it just means to take action confidently without hesitation or fear, right? If you want a job, just go for it. Just take action, okay? I was nervous about speaking, but I went for it. So that is all of the vocabulary. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was useful and helpful. And see you in the next video.